Alright, guys. How's it going? Alrighty. So, leonlagrey back again with another podcast. Well, live podcast, I would call. So, let me just lower down the vid. And going back onto me, here is a brand new podcast. So, very excited to get something done for again this coming week. And back up to me here. Hello, everybody. Alright. And so, before I start, give me 1 second. I think I'm gonna end up sneezing. Ooh. Okay, yeah. Okay, good. Okay, oh. Alright, thank goodness. So before I head out, let me just go ahead and let you guys know that my podcast is slowly growing every single week, and definitely I am growing each week, which is good. I am getting a lot of podcast listeners, so I am very, very happy to get some live material up for and so up for my Twitch. Yeah, so up for Twitch, and just to get that out there too, which I am very, very happy to be doing what I like to do. So, yeah, before I continue, let me go ahead and spread the word real quick before making any news or headlines. So, just want to go ahead and let everybody know and let everybody come in first. So, yeah. Just want to make sure I'm just getting it out there. Yeah, of course, always gotta tweet it out and Mastodon it. All that nice. Just a nice way to do that. Oh yeah. Of course, how can I not spread this to the entire universe but my live podcast, which I got to. And yeah, so voila. So yeah, so everything, it's all good. Just need to spread this to one last website here, and we be good to go. Hopefully everyone's Sunday is doing alright, just as I am. So I know I've been getting myself cleaned out, and yeah, just getting my act together, and that way I can get myself yeah. But hopefully you guys can hear me okay. Which hopefully that's my mic is still able to pick up, and hopefully it's not too loud for everybody to listen to. But let's take a good look right here, since now we are here live. Definitely want to go ahead and say a few things too. If you guys you haven't listened to my audio podcasts, by all means, I am very, very active. And each week I do audio podcasts each and every week through Anchor. And by the way, I'm not just on Anchor.fm, but I am pretty much everywhere. In fact, let me go to my podcast, and pretty much I could tell you which podcasts are that I am in a weekly basis. In fact, oh yeah, so there we go. So pretty much I am on, almost everywhere. So just to show you real quick, guys, and there we go. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get a second screen, so I do apologize if I haven't worked on it. It's only because yeah, so I still have to work on getting a second screen. So unfortunately, I don't have one because I mean, I've used my 32-inch TV as my screen. So, but just that it's just very awkward to use it right now, and I'm almost at the point I'm gonna have to start investing on a, well, what should I put it, on a second screen. But as of the moment, I am gonna just stick with what I have for what I got with the equipment, which is just a mic, the single monitor. So for the time being, I'm just gonna stick with where I'm at. So this is where you guys can listen to me, which is not just on Anchor.fm, but I'm on Apple Podcasts, Breaker, Castbox, Castro.fm, Google Play Music, Google Podcasts, Overcast, Player FM, Pocket Casts, Podbeam, Radio Public, Spotify, Stitcher, and TuneIn in right now. So, and at the moment, I am waiting until iHeartRadio approves me, which they say that it's supposed to take about at least what they're. Oh my god! Oh yeah, there we go. I'm going to infinity, but that's okay. So go back into my. Well, yeah, perfect. So yeah, so what I understand that iHeart is still trying to get my podcast approved, so they're still trying to look over it. So what I understand that it takes about 14 days, but I can't wait if it gets approved. But I'll let you guys know in a future podcast when that's going to be up. So, however, let's see who else is on. Anyone's on? Nope. not that I know of, but that is fine. And also that, so because I know slowly but surely I am gonna work on. Yeah, so pretty much getting my podcasts running like I want to, and that's something I would love to get my podcast out there. So that'll be pretty good. Yep. So that's something I'm steady on trying to get myself going for me. But that's something it's a process. So just like anything else goes. But yeah. So what was I gonna say? All right. Yeah. So yeah. Now I know what I was gonna say. Okay. Yeah, but so looks like everything should be okay on my podcast. But hopefully, once I get new equipment, a new motherboard, because I know it's just about time that that I'm gonna need to update, because I know you're seeing on the quality that the picture is running on 480. Yeah, so pretty much on the 480 progressive scan. So I know I'll end up updating to 720p, which that'll be at some point in the near future. And if anything goes, if I continue my podcast, get tons of support, absolutely it'll be great. And that way it'll give me a reason for me to, so it'll give me a reason to update the podcast. So, but of course there's other ways you guys can support me. I'm a humble partner, and so and anytime you go down the link down the bio, you can go ahead and follow. Yeah, so pretty much click on the partner link, subscribe, use that link below, and when you click on subscribe, pretty much you can get any games for less than what you get on a regular Steam title. And I definitely recommend going through it, because I love Humble Bundle. I do get games once a full blue moon, once if I ever could get around to playing any of those games. Because now, fortunately, this is something. Oh my gosh! Excuse me, I'm just messing with something right here. Okay. Okay, should be okay right now. Excellent. Yeah, so and so yeah, so I will be updating a lot of things more over time. So that's, like I said, slow process. We'll get that done. Oh yeah, and for those audio listeners trying to find out what the heck I was just doing. Looks like I was just moving the scenes from the correct order that I wanted to. I just wanted to get organized, but overall everything's all good. And also that too, I'm always updating on Twitter each and every week, so you guys can go ahead and follow me. And Twitter, yeah. So pretty much the Twitter is, yeah. So down below you can follow the tweets. And I haven't created any icons for Mastodon or Minds, which I will put that below at some point once I get around to it too. But who knows? We'll wait and see. But I did get the chance to customize the page whenever I did get around to it, which is a good thing. I've got around to just customizing my scenes the way I wanted to, which is good. I do need to make some time to do it now. However, definitely gotta cut the time that I'm doing for chores and then get more podcasting day after day or week after week whenever. But that's something I am doing and something I like to be very, very consistent about and try not to waste so much time. So since we're at it here, and since I already said my save right here, let's go ahead and get on with stories. And one last thing too, for those that are mothers out there, I'd like to say Happy Mother's Day to everyone out there that's doing whatever you're doing with your mom, going out for treating her something special. Go ahead. This is Mother's Day, so I'd like to just say that. I say that before I get to today's headlines here. So that further said, let's get on with stories. In fact, I have two stories that I'll be talking about today. And yes, so what we have. So today's stories I'm going to be talking about. The one story that did appeal to me. This was on Motherboard. Right to repair legislation is officially being considered in Canada. So this is interesting here. So this is kind of an interesting story that's been up for some time. Now, the right to repair. Let me just go ahead and move to the screen right here, just so I guess guys can show you. Oh, there we go. Okay. Right to repair legislation is officially being considered in Canada. A new proposed bill could become the first legislation to ensure individuals and independent shops can repair brand name devices in North America. Canada is the newest frontier in the fight for the right to repair, after an Ontario politician introduced a bill on Thursday that would include individuals and independent professionals can repair brand name computers and phones cheaply and easily. Manufacturers make it incredibly difficult to repair our broken devices ourselves. Instead of taking a smashed phone to a local repair professional for an affordable fix, a complex matrix of trade secrets and government intervention often means customers have to make a pricey trip to the Guinness bar or buy a new device entirely. This is bad for your wallet, but also bad for the planet. Yeah. And which I do think that it is. And for me, let me just stop right here and just to comment that this is quite lousy where they're trying to go with the bill. And for me, I'm a repair guy myself, and for me, that's something I wouldn't want to see any further legislation. And now, however, I don't know about the United States if there's been any bills like this, but I know one of my friends have mentioned to me about it, but that I'm not too sure, so I'll have to look up if there's any legislation on it too. Because for me personally, I'm someone that have repaired stuff here at my own home, and there's been times that I don't ever go to a shop, and whenever I want to go and fix things, I like to fix things on my own and not depend on somebody that's gonna do it for me, because I think, well, it's just a waste of money having to put more money into something else too. And now this is one thing I do not like with Apple products. And though I have fixed Apple products in the past, like iPhone 6 and iPhone 7, and one of the things I will say as a repair guy is I've had repaired iPhone 6 in the past. Now, I remember that the battery when the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus came out, the battery ballooned. I remembered the time that I was helping a customer out, and the battery just looked like it ballooned. And I swear that when I saw the phone for the first time, it looked like the phone screen. It had like a curve right there. It was just really odd. It really looked so strange that a phone will balloon. But anyways, now one thing that's one thing I've noticed is that when I've opened the phone, that's when the battery ballooned, because there was one thing when the iPhone 6 came out. There was an article that I actually found out about this before making repairs, that iPhone 6 had its issues with many customers about the battery. Pretty much will go on fire, or the phone will explode due to the battery issue. That's one thing that worries me with these new phones like this. And you don't even know if these phones are safe, like especially for me. However, going to the fact that if I want to repair my phone, I would definitely repair it whenever the heck I feel like it too, instead of going to the local store and getting like a replaceable phone by your warranty. Now, however, since this is unlocked, and let's say if the screen gets broken, then I can go ahead and repair this phone on my own, which I don't need to rely on someone else. And one thing I have to say though, I like Android due to the early years, was that Android and their batteries were pretty much replaceable. And nowadays you cannot really replace the battery, which is disappointing, because now Samsung has jumped to the pretty much the Apple bandwagon, where they're trying to copy the designs. But the one thing I don't like with the newer phones is that you really cannot take the battery out and remove it easily. Let's say if the battery goes out, you can just get the battery from the manufacturer or a third party, and just replace it. Get it in the mail. Once you receive it, you pop it in the phone. Voila, that's it. But now what I could understand, since there are things I could say, is that phone companies are trying to save money. So instead of having to send parts, they want you to buy a brand new phone from scratch, which I know it kind of makes sense through a company's perspective, instead of having to put parts away. But that's just my thing. And I honestly, what I would like to see phones going back the way they were, because to me, what I don't like to have to go through a phone, pry the screen out. So that's just my honest opinion. Which, however you guys feel about that. But so let me continue reading on here. Ontario Liberal Party MPP Michael Katuro ran into the issue headfirst after his daughter dropped his Samsung phone. An official repair job from the manufacturer was more expensive than just getting a new phone from his carrier. He told me over the phone It's a shame. Triu said, or and by the way, you have to excuse me if I mistakenly butcher his last name, but right now I don't care. So I'm just going through the article, but however it's spelled out, I'm going to try to say it carefully. But I honestly apologize. But but to me, I don't give a shit right now. Katiru or Koturu said, because the Samsung S8 was very good for me, everything was perfect. I would have kept using it, but now I've replaced it. On Thursday, Koturu introduced a private members bill in provincial parliament that, if it passed, it would be the first right to repair law for electronic devices in North America. More than a dozen U.S. states are currently considering similar bills, but nothing is on the books yet in the U.S. or in Canada. The legislation proposed that tech companies make diagnostic tools, repairs, manuals, and official parts available to consumers at their request. The legislation would also require that any new products shipped with a repair manual documents provided to customers must be free unless they request paper copies, and parts, tools, and software must be provided at a fair price. The intention of the legislation is to force a company like Apple to ensure that parts they create for their phones and tablets are available to be purchased. Katira said, adding that the legislative process would look for ways to ensure companies' copyright and intellectual property is respected. If the bill becomes law, U.S.-based companies like Apple will be forced to change how they operate to sell their wares in Canada's most populous province. This could lead to a ripple effect not just Canada but across the U.S. and potentially the world. Wow. So now that's something I would not want to see this pass, but hopefully the average consumer like me could continue repairing their phone, which I would like to continue to see that trend going, because I love to get my phone repaired, and as an individual, I like to go ahead and go through repairing my own phone and going through my own stuff. So that further said here, you guys let me know what you think about the bill, and I will go ahead and have the bill linked down below. In fact, let me just go ahead and copy the bill, and let's take. Okay, where's that link? Yeah, there we go, and I'll go ahead and paste it right in the chat so you guys can take a look over here. But anyways, let me know what you guys think about it, and because I know that this is going to be a very sticky situation with the consumers, and I'd love to know what you guys think about it. Anyways, drop in the comments or drop in anything to see what you guys think about. Anyways, any dialogue helps, and as a tech community, and here in the Leon LaGray show and the podcast, always love to talk about and interact with you folks about the issues that comes to mind, which I love talking about these things and bringing up the important issues, which is something I love to talk about. But furthermore, let me know what you guys think. If you're a repair shop by any means, if you have a repair shop of your own, or if you do things on your own with computers, by all means, love to hear your thoughts about it. And also, last few things before I get into the next article, which this is, I will continue make comments about. This is going to be a Facebook story, which is thing I'll be going into it next. So, however, I am a big person that loves to repair stuff. So, and let me tell you about my experience with repairs. So, a long time ago, or actually somewhat long time ago, I would say about a few years right now from now, that when I was working, I remember a few years ago that I actually worked in a shop, but it was like a pawn shop. That inside the pawn shop, I actually helped out the pawn's equipment. I got to worked on their computers. I got to work on customers' computers, and it's not something I love to see. The average consumer learn how to do is fixing and repairing, and I've done that too. Because if you are someone that loves to fixing, and by the way, I've had a passion on fixing stuff long time ago, because I think it's not even good if you're trying to throw out good good parts, good equipment like that too, because things can be reused over and over again. Because that's the thing too, like electronics. And putting electronics out in the landfill is, man, it's just not good. Yeah, and I like to see things can be used again for other people, and that's something I liked about repairing computers, is that you can use things. You could use things over and over, and even with phones, like I've actually enjoyed repairing phones. But however, I remember my boss thing me, which is that I was pretty slow on it too. And the problem about the repairing phones is that the parts are very delicate, and you really have to be careful when you're repairing a phone, and you cannot really be forceful when you're trying to repair phone, because otherwise you'll easily damage the strips in the camera. And just and I remember I actually damaged a front face camera for a customer. Oh my god, it's let me just put it this way, not the best feeling that you rip out the ribbon off the camera. That's one thing I've learned. Just be careful when you're trying to do anything for customers, because otherwise that will pretty much hit you. Yeah. So please, by all means, just be careful when you're trying to do anything for cameras. Oh, good. So I could hear myself. That's perfect. So okay, so on with the next story. So this is an article that that I found out. In fact, this is a story I actually ended up finding out from Mark Dice's channel, which he actually talks about Facebook in his channel a lot. And if you don't know who Mark Dice is, I'm sure he's very well known by now. So because he pretty much doesn't things that pretty much makes fun of modern liberalism and in general. Now, let me just read you the story. This was published on CNBC. Here it states on the title, and let me go ahead and switch to camera view. So this right here, it says Facebook co-founder calls for the company to be broken up, and says Zuckerberg has uninitial control over speech. And by the way, this guy is right. This guy is right as well. And in fact, that the way Facebook is being managed right now, it's just not really good. And the thing is, though, I would never wish a company to go bankrupt, but however, in some certainties, I like to see things turned around for a company that has been doing has been really much off the brink, and the way it's been manipulating users, and it's been just screwing shit with the algorithm. And that's one thing I would say is that for me, if things have to go through breaking up a company, and I say by all means do it. And to be, and there was one thing that they said, and what he said in, it was in a live interview, which he actually the co-founder of, oh yeah, so the co-founder of Facebook, um, said that if any means he would actually support in fact get break the acquisitions of Instagram and WhatsApp, which is pretty much owned by Facebook now. So let me just get through reading here on the key points of the article. So first of all, let me just read it here. Facebook's co-founder Chris Hughes wrote in a New York Times op-ed that regulators must check CEO Mark Zuckerberg's power, which right there, which I could totally agree, because there's way too much that's going that he's managing, and I think he's has way too much power over this, and I think he's really unmanageable to this point. So second column says Hughes says Zuckerberg has initial control over speech, and that's what tells you with Facebook, which he's actually right, absolutely right about that too. So because I think it's just that they've had way too much control over speech. And then the third column says he said regulators must step in immediately to in order to break up Facebook before it integrates its its messaging service and makes it more difficult to do so. And so yeah, and this is something I would agree 100% with Chris Hughes. I think Chris Hughes has hit the ball right here, and I have talked about Facebook on several occasions on my podcast, and I recommend you guys could check out the podcast over at anchor.fm/leonlagrey, so you can listen to my thoughts on what I have to say about that furthermore. In fact, there's other people have come out about even one of the board directors, or someone has actually wrote a book, and this is based off someone that was a former Facebook employee. He's actually worked along with Zuckerberg himself too. So, and this is a book that he released called Zuck. And I actually heard him on, the first time I've heard about him was on the Rich Dad radio program, which I listened to financials on there, but he ended up being one of the hosts of that on that interview on that day. But I definitely recommend you guys, if you're not into financing, definitely recommend you guys taking a look into the interview, and so by all means do so. So I'll read right here. Facebook co-founder Chris Hughes issued a forceful call for regulators to break up the company he helped build in a New York Times co-op published Thursday. Hughes, who left Facebook to work for Barack Obama's 2008 presidential campaign, and said that from his own experience building and working inside the company, Facebook now has more power than a private sector entity is due. While empathizing his belief that CEO Mark Zuckerberg has good intentions overall, he said that the executive has far too much unchecked power, aided by his majority voting stake in the company. The most problematic aspects of Facebook's power is Mark's unlimited control over speech. Hughes wrote, "There is no precedent for his ability to monitor, organize, and even censor the conversation of 2 billion people." Yeah, and that's a very good statement. In fact, that the way the company is going, this is let me just go ahead and go back from here, go back into my end, just so I can give you my 2 cents on the topic right here, which in fact I will say is yes, this is getting out of control. Something that does need to be checked up right here. Now, even though I myself is not for in regulation, but however, this is a company that has become way too big. In fact, that this is a company that has billions of users using this company social network. For me personally, I don't, because actually I ended up leaving the company in around 2013 when I found out things that went on with the Snowden incident back in 2013. What Facebook was using with their data, and personally, that's how I see things. Is that why keep a social network when they're giving out information back and forth, which I'm sure that most social networks are giving away so much shit to our governments and things that pretty much these unchecked powers that all those social networks are giving too much information. Even I'm sure that Twitter does the same shit too as well, but for me, I think it's just one less. That's just one less social network that I would end up just keeping. Me personally, that's how I would just do it right here, is keep one social network and then go for a social network that's like least popular. In fact, if you go down my bio here on Twitch, you will not see a Facebook logo down below in the bio, because I do not support what the company is doing right at this very moment. So currently, if you see something that's doesn't smell good, doesn't taste good, don't even go near it. Just throw out in the garbage, throw out in the trash, period. And that's how I see these things. And now I'm gonna go ahead and continue without having to swap screens, or without having to switch the viewpoint with CNBC. Yeah, so let's see here. In a statement, Facebook VP of Global Affairs and Communications Nick Clegg said Facebook accepts that with success comes accountability, but you don't enforce accountability by calling for the breakup of a successful American company. Accountability of tech companies can only be achieved through the painstaking introduction of new rules for the internet. That is exactly what Mark Zuckerberg has called for indeed. He is meeting government leaders this week to further that work. Hughes mentioned Zuckerberg's response to the spread of violent messages in Myanmar through his company's service. United Nations blamed Facebook service for helping to spread hate speech, which I don't know what the hell that is, amid a mounting crisis that led about 700,000 Rohingya Muslims to flee the country after then Secretary of State Rex Tillerson called ethnic cleansing. Wow. So yeah, and also that this is quite a good article which I could go on and continue reading. But however, there actually is a 2-minute video right here. And in fact, I will go ahead and switch the screens right here and pretty much and we'll go ahead and play the video that's down below, because I pretty much my mouth will get dry if I continue reading the article, but I will go ahead and post the link down below for you guys to read it into your personal time. And let's take a look on the video. So let's go and swap the screen.
Hey, happy Mother's Day.
It's so good to see you.
Are you just hanging out?
Oh, and then they also play an ad right there. Oh boy. And it takes it's gonna be 20 more seconds to go. Sorry about that. Okay, let's blow it up. Which I understand why they have to do the ads. Mm-hmm. Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. Oh yeah. So just to pause the video real quick. See, look at the look over here. It's been on the minus for so long. Do you think anybody's gonna buy internet stock like Facebook? Come on. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, pretty much. He has a lot of strong words on the statement. I'm sure there's a longer interview, that I can go over, and however, I won't go over in today's video on today's live podcast. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and come back over here. So yeah, so but that further says, I've always have talked about the corruption that goes on with the with Facebook, and I will be talking about more and more when time goes on. I'm sure it's no surprise that it's the same thing with Twitter, but I rather not bring this to, bring too much attention to myself. However, I would rather keep Twitter a little bit longer, because I know that all these new social networks, or new platforms, I call it, that they're going to be the ones taking over. So taking over the company, these companies like modern companies like Facebook, Google Plus, and Twitter as well. Which I'd say though, Plus Google Plus, it's a dying platform. It's only been used for on millions of people when it first came out, but that's something a lot of people don't talk about anymore. But that's just a dead platform on its own. But the ones that are still alive is ones I see is, yeah. So we only have, oh yeah, it's just Facebook and Twitter. I guess nothing else. I was just gonna think about something else that is still up and relevant, but I guess that's just it. Yeah, that are still up, but to me, we definitely need more competition. And hopefully, you guys can take a look on the other platforms that I'm going to be using, which is going to be third-party social networks like Minds. We'll be using Gab, Mastodon, other platforms like that that's on the rise, and hopefully this is going to be a good thing for people that they'll wake up and see what these companies are, and this is something that we should this is something they should be investigated, like Facebook and Facebook and Twitter. I mean, those are two monopolies right there too, and if they are broken up and they become way too powerful, for instance, I know Instagram has been bought out by Facebook and WhatsApp as well. Now let's say if pretty much the acquisitions of Instagram and WhatsApp gets broken up and it's not fully integrated with the Facebook service, I would say this would be a good thing as well, because I don't think Facebook doesn't need to integrate their messaging service all at once, because that's just way too powerful for a company to manage, and that's just much more centralization. Because why is everyone wanting to go ahead and centralize so much stuff? Who knows? But that's something do not support centralization, and there's way too much control of these companies right there, and things need to break up. Personally, let's just keep it this way, and for that, I'm sure that the people will decide what they want to do, because I know that many people will go ahead and look into more alternatives when time goes on. In fact, I will go ahead and put the link down below for Mastodon if you guys care to follow me. I think it'd be wonderful. In fact, let me post down the link down below for Mastodon, which is at leonlagrey at mastodon.social. So I will be active every single day, and you guys can follow me there. So it's be awesome, and it's also open source. So, and there's going to be much more of a blockchain support feature you guys can follow up. So follow me over there if you guys like, and get away from the Facebook and Twitter madness. But let's see. Overall, that's all I've got to say for this evening. That's just about it too with the live podcasts. I will experiment more when time goes on. So when time goes on, I will experiment more these this live podcast and continue doing this, because in fact I will be updating my scene right here and sprucing it up, which I think it definitely does need to be sprucing up a bit. And the fact that if I'm going to continue to grow as a streamer, I think it just definitely needs to be sprucing up, because there's that boring background, very uninspiring. I think something needs to be put back there. So but yeah, for those who are watching, thank you again for watching me live. And for those who are listening to me recorded, thank you so much for listening to me on the go, wherever you guys are. And thank you so much for coming into the podcast. And I will see you guys next time. Peace out.